In the previous 5 videos in this series of designing WordPress themes and headers with Artisteer, we discussed methods of very simply designing headers without using any sophisticated software, just using images from Amazon and very quickly and very easily putting together headers that you can use on various themes. And then we discussed how to use a piece of software called Artisteer to build your own unique themes. Now, the problem is that many times people just beginning internet marketing are on a limited budget. And the questions I get asked are, do I really have to use the standard free or default WordPress themes? Is there no way that I can have my own unique themes? And the question to that is absolutely, you can use those themes but make them unique by simply changing the header. And so with nothing more than a hosting account for your domain, and you can get very good hosting for around $9 a month at places like HostGator. You can purchase a domain for under $10, and that's a whole nother subject that I get into in my instructions. But with only those 2 objects and then the free WordPress software and any number of themes that are available to you, you can make very unique themes to promote affiliate products, whether it's for Amazon or Commission Junction, AdSense, and many other monetizations. So in this video, we're going to show you 3 different themes and show you how simple it is to change the headers on those themes to make them your very own. The first theme we'll look at is the new default WordPress theme called 2010. This is a very nice theme, very adaptable, has a lot of features, and it's useful for many different affiliate products. The problem is that it comes with 8 preset default headers you can use, but of course if you use these preset headers, then your blog is going to be the same as thousands or millions of other blogs out there. So if you want to use this very adaptable theme, the easiest way to make it your own is to change the header. And they've made it very easy with this theme to do that. Let's log into the dashboard and take a look. Once inside the dashboard, simply click on Appearance, and then Themes will appear. And then if you click on the header link underneath Appearance, you'll see that you have 8 separate pre-configured default theme headers that you can use. Now this one that you see over here on the top of the right column, you won't find in yours. This is one that I made, and I went through the trouble of actually putting it in here. It's something you just don't have to fool with. It's for people with more time than anything else to do, but that's possible. You can actually store one if you're going to be changing it quite a bit. So all you have to do to change your images is decide which one you want to use, and you can click on it and then simply go down and click on Save Changes, and it'll move it up. Now if you don't have if you don't want to use any of these images, and that's the whole purpose of this video, to show you that you don't have to use them, then you simply have to go to your computer in a folder where you have stored your graphic image that you have made, and you have to make sure that the size of it is 940 by 198. Alright, I'm going to browse to a folder where I have a header that I made using the techniques that I showed in one of the earlier videos in this series. Click on Open, and then click on Upload, and usually it will very quickly load that for you. Just go down and click on Save Changes, and now we can go out and look at the site. And now you can see that the site is completely different from probably anybody else on the internet. You've got all the features that you can use that are built into this theme, which are very handy, and your own header. So on this one, it's very easy because they give you in the dashboard a very easy method of uploading your unique headers. But what if it's a theme that doesn't have that facility? Let's look at another theme. This theme is called Cutline, C-U-T-L-I-N-E, and I used to use this theme quite a bit before I started building my own themes. It's a very handy theme, very useful, And the only thing is now, it also comes with default headers. And the unique thing about this theme is it has about 6 or 7 default headers, so that as you set up different pages on your blog, it will actually bring up a different header. And you can change that so it'll bring up the same header each time. But let's see how we can put a header on this theme to make it our very own. Now, the first thing we have to find out, if we've never worked with this theme before, is where is this header and what size is it? So what you'll do is using an FTP program, go into WP Content, go into Themes, choose that theme, and then usually the header images will be uploaded under an image folder. Not always, but in most cases. So in this one, we'll open this up, and now looking at these, we can see that they have 5 different headers in here. The chances are that this header _1 is the main header, but how do we know for sure that it is? Well, here's what I like to do just to make it simple. I just change the name of it, and I do that by just putting a few digits after it to change it. Okay, that way the software can no longer call it up. So let's go back to the site now and refresh the page, and now I have a blank screen. So now I know, okay, that's the header image. Now what I need to find out about that is what size is it. So one way of doing that is to go back and then move this header over onto your computer, and then you'll have to remove those digits that we put on it. Okay, and now opening Paint, I'm going to open up that particular image, and then by clicking on Image and Attributes, I can see that it's 770 by 140. So now if I want to replace this with one of my own, all I need to do is make an image just like I showed you in the earlier videos, and make it 770 by 140. It's just that simple. So that's a quick way of finding out where the header image is at. Sometimes it'll be a PNG, sometimes it'll be a GIF, sometimes it's a JPEG. But that's a very quick way to find out when you're working with a theme that you've never worked before, exactly where the header is and what size you have to make it. So then all you would have to do then is, after you made your own header, now once you've made a header the correct size, all you have to do is make sure that you name it the same name that the original header was. In this case, header _1. And you see I've saved the original here in case I need it later. I don't have to delete it. I just leave those extra digits after it, and that saves it for me. So then I simply move this one across. Now all I've done in this case to save time is take that original larger image that we used on the 2010 and reduced it in size. So it's not going to be perfect, but let's go take a look now and see what we've got. Back out to the site, and there you see now we've got our own header loaded on this site. Just that simple to do. Now, as I mentioned, because this one comes with 5 different headers, if you want to set your blog up so that on each page it shows a different header, you'd have to make a header for each one, or you can simply take each one of these and change them the same way I changed this, and that way it'll keep calling up the first header. Okay, very easy to do. All right, let's look at another theme now. Now this theme is called Atmosphere, and if you like the darker themes, this could be a good theme to work with. One problem, well, before we get into that, let's look at the header first. So we've got this very large header. Now we need to find out where is this header located, and so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back in with our FTP program and see if we can locate the image that is making the header of this particular theme. So back in FTP, we're going to open up the Atmosphere, and then in the image folder, all right, we have a header JPEG here. All right, I need to go over and, well, I guess I could leave those there. All right, next thing I'll do now is just to make sure that's it. It's the same thing. I'm going to rename it, by putting any digits after it. Now we go back, refresh the page, and if it's blank, and now it's blank, so I know that's the right image. So the next thing I want to know is, okay, if I want to replace that with my own, I need to know what size it is. So I can go back and do the same thing here now. I'm going to take this header and move it across to my computer. And now in order to open this up in Paint, I have to take those digits off the back side or it won't open it up. So rename, remove those. And now let's go back to Paint and open header. And there it is. And then by looking at image attributes, I know that if I want to replace that header and keep it the same size, then I need to make it 724 by 314. Now that's a pretty nice theme, but in my opinion that header is taking up an awful lot of expensive real estate. What I mean by that is when you look at this site, all this space up here for a pretty picture is nice, but this area that you see is part of the website that's going to show when somebody first gets to your site. It's called Above the Fold, and you want something up here that's going to bring you income, and that header is not going to make you income. So what if you decided that, yeah, I want to use this theme, but I'd like to make that header smaller? With most of these themes it's very easy to do, and you accomplish that by going back into the dashboard, and then under Appearance click on Editor. That'll bring up the list of all the files that make up the theme over here on the right hand side. And if you bring up the style sheet, you see it down here. If you click on Style Sheet, it will appear in the editor here. And then normally this is not too hard to find. You scroll down and it calls out the header, and it tells you that the width is 724 and the height is 314. Well, let's say we want to take that down and make it 150. Okay, and then just go down and click on Update File, and then you can go back out, refresh the page, and now you see you've got the same theme, but you've reduced that header. So now you can load your own header the size that you want it and make this theme your very own. Alright, and now you see we've got full use of this theme. If you like these dark themes, we've added our own header image and we've reduced the size. So now all that wasted space up here that was being dedicated to the header, which would be very nice if you were setting up a blog for a family blog or a personal blog, a news blog, something like that. But for a blog that is a affiliate blog where you're trying to get people to click on AdSense ads or click on your Amazon ads or some other thing of that nature, that's an awful lot of wasted space. You know that when you go into a convenience store, or a grocery store, when you get up to the counter, they got all that stuff surrounding the counter, those last minute impulses for you to buy. Also, you notice that if you go in to buy a gallon of milk or a cold drink, you usually have to walk all the way to the back of the store to get it and back out. Why do they do that? Because that's probably the most common thing people buy, is because they want you to walk past everything else in the store and maybe on impulse buy something else. Same thing here. When people get to your site, the first thing they see, you want to be some ads of some sort up here in the fold before they ever have to scroll down. This is the most important real estate on your blog, so use it well and don't waste it by putting a huge header up here that just wastes space. So we could have even made this narrower if we wanted to, but I was just trying to give you an idea. Some of the things you can do very easily without a whole lot of knowledge. And the worst thing that could happen is if you decide, all right, I'm going to go in and change the size of the header by going into the style sheet. Supposing you screw it up so bad that the theme doesn't work right, well, all you have to do is delete the theme and re-upload it again and start over again, or just that particular file.